And I will hand you over to the council, state council, to lead you through the questions. Council, take over.
And just to restate, you had mentioned that at all times your instructions came from Mr. Just observing an echo, the IT department to help us as I proceed. So these instructions, were they ever in writing or they were always verbal instructions? They were always verbal. All right. So now let's look at the sale. Once you conducted the sale, did you give did you write a report to that effect? And was the reporting style discussed? How you should report to the commission?
No, that was not discussed. But I believe in the manner that we did it was we direct the report to the chair of the commission by copying you, the secretary. So I think that the error that we did was we were supposed to UFS, like when you administering like documentations. So I believe that was the error that we made, but the report was given to DPS and she proceeded it to the commissioners. It was not like we handed it over to the commissioners. No.
So when you say the report was given to DPS, you mean the secretary, Ms. Ramatullah Isar?
Yes, excuse my language. Yes, the secretary.
All right, and she would be the one then to hand it over. However, what I meant was, did you at any point do a tabulated report of each item, where you have each item, the reserve price, and what you sold it for? Was that ever produced for the tractors? You see, if you could recall, during Al-Haji Mamadi Kurang's tenure, so there are two phases of tractor sales. The first phase is during Mr. Kurang's tenure, and the second phase, which has two teams, was during Ms. Sar's tenure. The first phase, the commission adopted a reporting style where each item was reported, the buyers were indicated, the reserve price was indicated, and what it was sold for was indicated. Even the condition was reported. Now, in the document you refer to as the inventory, you can definitely see the name or type of the tractor. You can see the identification mark of the tractor. You can see how much horsepower the tractor has. You can see the location which it's in. You can see a reserve price and the condition. But what you cannot see is what each tractor was sold for. Now, I want to ask whether that was done. Or rather, I'm asking whether that was done.
Yes.
And so before you answer, if I may direct the committee so that they're guided as to which document I am referring to. It is a document in the submission of the lead counsel, Ms. Abi Bensouda, and it's in the second volume, the one that's marked 9 to 12. I'm not sure if that's the second volume or the third, but it should be the second volume, 9 to 12. So it's a document that is titled Evaluation of Tractors and Agricultural Machines within the KM and West Coast region?
We'll follow it. All right, you can go on.
All right, you can go on to answer. Was there any such report done?
Yes, I believe so. Because like I mentioned earlier, before we went on break, it was a continuation. It was the same process. So yes, I believe we did. We did the tabulation report as well.
May you have a copy of that?
Personally, no, I don't, but I believe the commission should.
The commission should.
Yes.
I don't know where to find the commission. Can you
We
assist
should,
me?
yeah. We should have. Yeah, I believe so.
So perhaps are you directing us to Ms. Ramatulai Saab still?
Yes, because she's the secretary and she's the custodian of records. So I believe,
All right.
all
It's
records
fine.
should be accessible.
I will just state for the record that we are not in receipt of that evidence. All we have is the tabulated report of the first phase. Now, the second phase, what we have is a report that seeks to summarize the events. We have 3 reports in that respect, one from your end, one from the team 2, and one that consolidates both. You remember that report? It's a
Yes.
report that has more words than it has numbers.
But I'm with the strong belief that we've equally submitted the tabulation, report as well. If I could remember, I believe so.
But you're not sure?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but it should have accompanied with the report, like the literally report.
Okay. And which the committee, did the committee get the report? Yeah. All right. Do you recall at each point you went to? Now you've reported that 43 tractors were sold. Do you recall at each point how many tractors were stationed at the different police stations?
To be exact, no, I cannot be definitive on that.
You cannot recall.
Yes.
Do you recall what nature of tractors were reserved by the state? The brand, whether they were in good condition, etc.
Yes, for certain they were in good conditions, and I think the brand might be Mahindra.
So the Mahindra tractors were the tractors that were reserved for the state.
I think so.
And do you recall whether they were given to the state or did state institutions purchase them?
In that regard, I wouldn't know, but I know that correspondence were written to the different municipalities with regards to those structures.
And can you recall which municipalities benefited?
KMC benefited, and I believe BCC, Banjul City Council. Yes, I could remember those two.
Okay. I would make an application to say that since the requisite information with regards to the tractor sales is not before the committee, an order be made for both the witness and Ms. Ramatulai Sar to furnish the committee with the tabulated report of each item of the tractor sales to be provided to the committee by both the witness or Ramatullah Sar, if they can both facilitate that process.
No, your line is breaking. I can hear.
Yes, I have made an application and the application has been granted for the tabulated report of the tractor sales, the itemized report to be furnished before we embark on the journey of questioning you on that. So perhaps today might not be sufficient for your testimony. You will have to come back on that because the committee cannot question you blindly.
Okay.
So we'll move to the vehicle sales.
Well noted. Okay.
But before we do move to the vehicle sales, just to reiterate, did you purchase any tractors or any items during the tractor sales?
Absolutely
From
no.
the 5-day exercise from the 1st of October. Did you?
Absolutely no.
All right, Honorable Chair, I would ask that we skip the tractor sales. The committee is at liberty to forward any questions that they have. But so for the legal team, we would prefer to be furnished with that document before we lead evidence or lead questions regarding that issue of the tractor sales. No. Okay. We would have to reschedule the witness to come back once we have all the information. I'm still proceeding with other issues. I have one more issue, but we're going to skip the tractor sales. All right, Mr. Bojan, it's difficult having this proceeding online because you are not furnished with the documents that we have. And the documents are quite bulky. We have tried as much as possible to copy some. I believe you have been sent something from the team.
Not yet.
All right, the team will send something to you shortly. That's one of the documents. I guess for the other documents, you'll just have to trust my word. Or you can ask the chair if you don't trust me, and the chair will confirm.
Okay. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
In your next session, we would have the documents ready for you.
Well noted,
Yes,
Council.
I missed something. You mentioned, you said?
Yes, I said it's okay. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt to trust your words. It's okay.
Great, fantastic. All right, let's go to, have you received the document before I proceed?
Still not yet.
All right, I'll just hold up for a minute so you can receive the document. Have you received the document?
Yes.
All right, we're going to look at that document. Did you issue any receipts?
In my capacity as the supervisor?
Yes.
No, receipts were issued by the accountants from accountant general, by the cashiers.
So they were responsible for receiving monies.
Yes, that's correct.
So no person from your team other than the accountants received money.
Absolutely right.
Was there a register taken of the people that were present for the sale?
You mean the buyers?
Yes.
A registry? No, I don't think so.
All right. That's fine. We'll deal with that more when we get back to tractors. Let's move to vehicles. I believe the vehicle exercise started on the 14th of January. Correct?
Did you say 14th of January? Okay. Yeah.
Is it correct? If I'm wrong, you can always correct me. From my records,
Well,
they started
since
from the 14th of January 2019 and it lasted for 10 days.
yes, since you have the records, yes, I will adhere to that.
Do you recall that? Who was present at those at the sales for the vehicles, the 10-day sales?
You mean on my team as a team, right? That's what you're asking for?
Yes, you were involved. Were you involved with the vehicle sales?
Yes, yes, I was.
And Miss Drame was also involved. This time you were both involved in the
Yes,
exercise.
we both involved. Yes.
There were no separate teams.
No, it was a one team. Yeah.
All right. So do you recall where you started the vehicle sales? Can you just give the committee a brief evidence on what points the sales were made?
Yes, I could remember there were three venues, but I cannot recall their chronologically order. But I know that we
That's
did
fine.
sales. We did sales at the Kotu MSA,
Okay.
and we did sales at it is a I think a government garage in Carnifing around Jimpex.
Okay. You did
And
sales at Jimpex.
Jimpex, yes.
All right.
And I think the third one will be the Feature Lake building.
Jimpex, can you briefly describe the property you are referring to that you did sales at Jimpex?
It is a garage. I believe it's a government garage too. So there are a whole lot of old vehicles there. I think that were identified by the government for auction.
Do you recall the outlay of Jimpex? I know you've been away for a while.
Oh, I think it's the junction opposite the the new is it Basiru Jawara Mosque? I think there is a mosque around Jimpex called Basiru Jawara Mosque. I think there is a junction opposite the mosque. I think that's the road that goes to the garage, if my memory could serve me well.
Could the venue you're talking about be accessed from Joshua as well? Can I make a suggestion?
Yes, I think
Do you
so.
remember? Do you remember the GTTI, or do you remember TK Motors? That road, does it lead to the venue you're referring to as Jimpex?
Yes, I think that's the one.
You do not recall, do you?
No, I think that's the one. Yes, I think
That's
it's
the one.
in
Okay.
Joshua. Yeah,
All right.
I think it's in Joshua.
All right, that's fine. Um, so let's look at the document you have been provided. You can see the document, right?
Yes.
Now that document adopted the style of having receipt numbers, description of item,
Yeah.
name of buyer, reserve price, and amount paid. Now, before we go into it again, I'll give you the courtesy of doing the same thing that you did for the tractor sales. Give the committee a briefing. Did you buy any property? Did members of the team buy property? What was the policy around buying property and engaging in? If you could just give us 2 minutes, it seems like we're setting up.
Okay.
Okay, we have been given the go-ahead to proceed. What was the policy around personnel of the commission or personnel attached to the commission buying property, if there was any? So just give us a rundown before we look at the specific figures.
To be honest, I don't think there was any policy to start with. There was no policy, and the auction process was done openly. Buyers came over, and the auctioneer, rings his bell, and then the auction goes on. Like the pricing starts from the above the reserve price, and then the highest bidder wins.
All right. Did you or any member of your team purchase any vehicles?
For me, certainly not. You can be rest assured. I did not make any single purchase. For my team, I cannot be certain. I cannot be completely certain. But I could speak for myself. I did not purchase any single item in the entire process.
And what about, okay. So let me ask it in a different way. Did you or any member of your team purchase any items on behalf of anyone else, of a third party perhaps?
I cannot remember, and I wouldn't know.
All right. Mr. Bojan, we're in receipt of a comprehensive list of auction of vehicles. Now, this is the auction that began on the 14th of January,
Okay.
all through to about the 29th, thereabout. Actually, it's all through to February. Who prepared this report? Do you recall preparing this report?
Report. Yes, because I know that I was redeployed to the office of the vice president in January, January ending. So I believe so. Yeah, I believe it was, yes, it was myself and Ms. Wadrama. I believe so.
So you would have prepared the report then?
Yes, I
All
believe
right,
so. It was a
let's go into the
compilation.
report. Let's go into the report. For the purposes of the committee, we are looking at MOJ 8B as well as RS 6. MOJ 8B would be the comprehensive list for auction of vehicles, and RS6 would be the valuer's report, evaluation report by Mr. Mamadou. Apologies, Chair. Let me, instead of butchering his name, let me get his correct name. Momodou Kunta Mambure, RS6. If the committee is minded, I can proceed. Yeah. All right. Let's go to the first page. All right, let's look at the first item. Can you read out the first item and just read what it provides for? So I'll help you with the first item, in fact, and then perhaps the subsequent items you can read. It was on the 14th of January 2019, the first day of the auction. There is a receipt number 3554952, and you mentioned that the receipts were being issued by the Accountant General's office, correct?
Yes,
So
Councillor.
they are the ones that allocated these receipt numbers, correct?
Yes.
Correct. So the description of the item is it's a Mitsubishi Pajero. However, you can see another description, MKM6, which we'll come to shortly. It was bought by one Hijinke Kani. The reserve price was 80,000 and it was sold for 87. Now, the subsequent ones, that's what I wish for you to do for me. But let's look at this this item. Now, for your information, all the items were valued, right? And the valuer had provided for reserve prices, which would have been used. And you mentioned that you don't know who the valuer was.
Yes.
Do you know how many times it was valued?
No, I have no idea.
But when your team went on the ground, there was no extra valuation done, was there?
No, not
Okay.
to my knowledge.
All right, let's look at the first one. You see, what's important here is the MKM6, because with the MKM6, if you reference or counter-reference RS6, which is our own document, RS stands for Ramatullah Sar 6. The sixth submission of Ramatullah Sar is the valuation report. If you reference it, you realize that the valuer has stated that this item was at the Future Lake building. It was good. It was in good condition. The status of the vehicle was identified as good. He has identified it as not being roadworthy. And he has attributed that to punctured tires, engine and radiator misfiring, and all other engine parts missing. The value he has attached there is 50,000. Now, even though the state should be very happy, and I'm sure the committee members would be very happy that the reserve price was 50,000 by the valuer, but yet yourself and your team decided that 80,000 was a better value. Now, like I said, I'm sure that your superiors must have been happy because you managed to rake in 37,000 more because you sold it for 87,000. Although the reserve price you put there is 80,000. However, I wish to beg for an explanation as to why the reserve price was changed.
Well, in this case, I cannot remember like seeing the evaluation report that you stated. So the only document that we worked with was an inventory. So I believe in the inventory, it's supposed to be the same 80,000 that is there instead of the, I don't know, the 50 that you're talking about, because I wasn't privy to the evaluation report that you're talking about. I cannot
You were
remember.
not privy to the evaluation report. Then how did you determine the price, the reserve price of vehicles?
Yes, an inventory was given, and in the inventory, I believe it was a detail, just like the tractor inventory.
And are you saying that a price was there?
I believe so, because there
All
should
right.
be a price that is going to guide you. If there was no price, you're just going to be blindly, leading to the way. So I believe there was a price.
And that's my worry, because the price is stated here in the valuation report. However, even though the price that you ended up indicating as a reserve price is higher than what it was reserved for, I wish to know the reasons for that change of heart. Was there a subsequent valuation that was conducted?
No, not to my knowledge. I believe there should be an inventory with regards to the reserve price.
All right, let's look at the third last on that same page. Can you read it out for us?
The third last, is it the Hyundai? Uh, Hyundai
Yes,
Santa
please
Fe?
read that whole line for us. What date was it?
It's 15 January 2019.
All right. And there was a receipt number. Can you recite that receipt number?
3554973.
I believe it's 78.
Oh, my bad, 78. Excuse me.
That's fine. And what's the make of the car?
Hyundai Santa Fe.
And the identification number is M83, 86 rather, correct?
86, yes.
All right, who was it sold to?
The individual person's name here is Alaji Ahmed Seka.
What is the reserve price?
According to the report here, 10K, 10,000.
And it was sold for 39,000.
Yes.
All right. Now you see the code M86. When I reference that code M86 to the valuer's report, I can see that this Hyundai Santa Fe was parked at the Kotu workshop. And I can also see that the condition was fairly good. However, it was marked not to be roadworthy. And that was attributed to the fact that there was no engine, no gearbox, and no headlamp. I believe he meant no headlight.
Okay.
However, what is troubling is that the reserve price by the valuer is 20,000, not 10,000, as indicated in your report. Can you explain that?
And so I Based on the evidence presented to me right now, I don't know why it is why we have that variances. I don't know, maybe it's a typo or what. I don't know.
Okay, let's explore more and more typos. Let's go to the 16th of January. Are you there?
Just a second. Yes, I am there.
All right, please read it out for us.
Which one? The first one?
Look at count from the first, on that day, from the first one, the sixth item. It's the receipt number that ends with 84.
Okay. Is it the Hyundai M93?
Yes. Hyundai M93, yes. Can you tell us what date it was, the receipt number, and then go on?
Yes, the date is 16th of January 2019, and the receipt number is 3554984, and the vehicle brand is Hyundai M93, and the buyer's name is Momodu Jallo.
What was the reserve price?
According to the report here, is 5,000.
All right. Since you've put your faith in me, I will tell you that in the auctioneer's report, the reserve price was 15,000. So the reserve price indicated in this report is 10,000 shy of what the reserve price the valuer had placed. Is that also a typo?
Just give me a second. Let me cross check. Council, I don't understand why there are differences, because like I said, our exercise was modeled or guided by an inventory. So, and as far as I could remember, we were guided by that inventory. So I don't know why we're having these variances. Since you said you got the evaluation report or the valuation report, I believe there should be an inventory.
We do have an inventory. However, the inventory doesn't have any figures attached to. What inventory we have is the valuer's inventory, which is also a valuation report. Or rather, it's the valuation report which can also serve as an inventory, because it identifies each vehicle and it identifies them quite aptly. I believe the inventory you're talking about is the one for the tractor sales. We're talking about the vehicle sales. Are you telling us that it also had an inventory that had a reserve price? Because the inventory of vehicles the committee is in receipt of does not have the reserve price.
Well, I believe they should, because evaluation report that you're talking about, I can't remember, honestly.
All right, let's proceed. Look at the 18th of January.
Okay, give me a second. Okay, I'm there. 18th of January.
Are you there?
Yes, I am.
All right, let's proceed down to the next page. Look for a receipt, the receipt number that ends with 5385.
Okay, I'm struggling to figure it out. 5385. Is it on the bottom page? Because I'm struggling to figure it out.
So it's in the middle of the page, and it's the buyer is one Mr. Babungwam, and it says Benz Jeep.
Are we on the same page? Is it on page 4, the 18th of January?
It's on the 18th of January, but not where the date appears, but it rolls up on the next page.
On the
So the
next
first
page,
item
okay.
on that page is a Nissan Titanic.
Titanic. Yeah, I've seen it.
You
Okay.
want? All
Yes,
right.
I've
So
seen it.
now if you go below, you would see the second item purchased by Mr. Babungom. And it has a reference number of MK70.
The second item that I have here, it was not bought by Babungom. It was Dixon something.
Sorry?
You said under the Nissan Titanic, like the second line or the second column, the buyer is not Babungom.
No. What I was trying to identify the page for you. The first item on the page is the Nissan Titanic.
Okay.
Now, on that same page, if you count down to where Mr. Babungom is, it's
Oh,
number
okay.
13
Yeah,
on the list.
I have seen it. I have seen it. It's 84, 384 and 385.
Yes, yes, the second item now, 385. Can you read that out
Okay.
for the record?
Benz Jeep MK70.
And who was it bought by?
Babungom.
And what was the reserve price?
30,000.
Sorry?
30,000.
And how much was it sold? Are you reading the same place? Are we reading the same document?
Oh, no, it was 5,000. Excuse me.
5,000.
Yes.
All right. Now I'll reference the valuer's report. What is the item? It's a Benz Jeep, right?
Yes. Benz Jeep MK70.
All right. So the valuer also confirms that it's a Benz. He confirms that it's in good condition. However, it's not roadworthy, he attributes its non-roadworthiness to the lack of keys. The keys were missing. And he valued the vehicle at 50,000. However, on your report, you valued it at 5,000.
Hmm?
Is there?
You value it
you're
at
also shocked.
50,000?
Yes. It seems like you're also shocked. It's the same shock I had. Now I just need an explanation so I can temper my shock.
No, it must be a typo. Maybe we probably missing a zero. Maybe we need to confirm that with the receipts. Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
You know what, Mr. Bojang? You gave me the benefit of the doubt. I will give you the benefit of the doubt. Let's proceed. Let's go to the next one. Still on the same page. Let's go to the receipt number that ends with 397. Let's scrutinize the typo therein. The receipt number 397. It is the Suzuki van MK73.
Yes, I've seen it.
Take us through that. Who bought it? What's the valuation price?
Mustafa Jallo, valuation price 10,000. And
Now,
purchasing price was 15K.
purchasing price was
15,000.
15,000. Okay, just before I even go on to that one, the previous one, the reserve price you put there was 5,000, and Mr. Babungom, very lucky individual, he bought it for the reserve price at 5,000. Now, that already dispels your notion that the auctioneer would begin beyond the reserve price. You understand that, right?
Well, that was the general standard,
That's fine. It's not a big issue, but if you can look, you will see that both items were bought for at 5,000. Both items were reserved at 5,000.
Yes, as per the report that I have, yes.
All right. Back to Mr. Mustafa Jallo, who has bought a Suzuki van. He bought it for 15,000. The reserve price was 10,000, according to your report. According to the valuer's report, he confirms that it's a Suzuki van. It was in Canifing. It's in good condition. It's not roadworthy. He does not explain why it's not roadworthy, but he attached a price of 40,000 to it. Now, I can agree with you that perhaps 5,000 you can get a typo of 50,000. That can be argued, but I would like to see you argue 10,000 to 40,000. It makes it much more difficult to explain it as a typo, doesn't it?
Yes, I agree, Council.
Is there an explanation for this?
Well, I might not associate it with a typo. I don't know, because if the figures don't tally, then yeah, I just can't legitimately give an explanation on this. Honestly, I don't know how this happened.
Okay, let's go again. The next one. Now, this is where I have another problem. Can you read out the next one?
Excuse me, Council.
Yes.
If I could intervene,
Sure.
is is there only one valuation report? Because I know you guys must have the records now. So is that the only valuation report?
Well, I'm going by the valuation report that is available to the committee. And this is perhaps, if you had the documents, perhaps you could guide the committee. This is why you're here, in fact, just to guide the committee on the documents themselves. When you're ready, we can deal with the other one.
Yeah. What was the question again?
The next one. The receipt number 2 that ends with 328. It's right below the one we just read, the Suzuki van.
Okay, I've seen it. It's is another no? Yeah, is another Benz MK7? Is that the one?
MK70, right? Yes, that's the one. Now read it out for us.
MK70.
Can you see it?
Yes, I've seen it. The buyer is HS Kanyi,
Okay.
and the reserve price 30,000,
Okay.
and purchasing price was 40,000.
Okay. And what's the code there? What's the reference?
Let me see. Is it
The reference.
the Benz MK770?
MK70 is the reference. Now,
Yeah.
again, since you said you will trust me, I will tell you that MK70, in fact, my first issue is that it's duplicated. This is the second time we're dealing with
Yes,
MK70.
I noticed. Yes, I noticed that right now. Yeah.
The first time the description was Benz Jeep, even though the Benz was spelled correctly, but incorrectly rather, but I assume it is Benz Jeep. And the second time, it's also referred to as Benz. My other problem is that this is the second time Mr. Kanye has gotten a valuation that is not the valuation on the valuer's report, albeit the first one was above the valuation price, but the second one seems to be undervalued. And it's been mentioned again.
So,
Yes, that's the second one. Where's the third one?
this depends about
Yes, we've seen Babungom. That's Ben's Jeep. And I've seen Ben's Simpliciter, MK7. That is Ben's MK70. Okay, so it's been repeated twice, the same reference. I'm not sure you can sell one car to two individuals. Or was that the case? Was King Solomon
No,
in your midst?
no cancel.
Or the Prophet Suleiman, was he in your midst? Did he split the Benz in two?
No cancel. What could we check whether the receipts the serial number of the receipt, is it the same? Maybe that will help us to clarify this.
Well, the
This
receipt numbers
particular,
are different. The receipt
they're
numbers are
different.
different, as you can see. I will read out for you so that we gain time. The
Okay.
first receipt number purchased by Mr. Babungom is 3565385. The second one purchased by H.S. Kani, who I can only assume is the individual who you first named as Hijinke Kani, because the coincidence is very close. And that receipt number is 3565328. Different receipt number. In both cases, the reserve price was ignored. The reserve price by the valuer. In both cases, the item went for less than the reserve price. Actually, in the second case, it went exactly at the reserve price of 40,000. But you see, there are multiplicity of issues here. The fourth issue is that the item is duplicated.
Yes,
Right?
I agree as far as the evidence,
Yes, the second issue is that for at least one, it is grossly undervalued in your records vis-a-vis the valuer's report. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, let's not stay there for long. I'm sure the honorable members will pick that up from where I've left. Let's go to the next one, the one immediately after it. Can you read that one out as well?
Is it the one with the 329
Yes.
M pickup? It is a Mitsubishi pickup, I believe, M41. The buyer's name is Mohammed Sise, and the
Yes.
reserve price is 20,000, and purchasing price is 40,000.
All right. For that one, the reserve price was maintained as 20. Now, I brought that example up just to, you were just queried to say that there could be another list with indicative prices. But you
Yeah.
see, for the most part, the valuation prices were consistent. I'm showing you the inconsistencies. Now let me show you another inconsistency. Let's go to the receipt number that ends with 332.
The Toyota Hilux MK64.
Okay. Who purchased it?
Purchased by Njundu Jase.
Okay.
And reserve price 30,000 and purchasing price 30,000.
Now, what item is it?
Toyota Hilux.
All right, give me a second. All right, if you look at the valuation price attached for the Toyota Hilux, you get a figure of 50,000. Now, out of the abundance of caution, since you have put your trust in me and I don't want to defy your trust, I will also indicate for you that just below the 50,000, there is a 30,000 reserve price indicated. However, when our team did the tally, it seems like, because the alignment is off, it seems like for MK64, 50,000 was what was reserved. Now, if it was 30,000, you would see, just out of the abundance of caution, just in case it's 30,000, because as I have explained, the alignment is not straight. So I could make a mistake on this particular one, not on the other ones. If it's 30,000, then you would see that, again, it's consistent with what you indicated. And if it's 50,000, of course, that would be grossly undervalued, just like the previous ones, the other ones that I highlighted. I think on the issue of reserve prices, I can end here. The members will take it up. But you can see that for several items, they go up to 15 that we have counted, but there are a bit more. We just picked out a sample. And you can see that the valuer's price was not observed. Your team decided to adopt a different price. Again, I'm offering you an opportunity to explain that. Can you?
And so, like I said, the inventory was our guidance. So instances like this, I just can't I just can accept that the errors that happened, that we were using only one valuation report, because as far as I'm concerned, I know that the inventory was our guide. So with all these abnormalities, it's just beyond me. I just can't give a proper explanation, honestly.
All right. So your answer is that you're not sure or you don't know. All right, Honorable Chair, I would ask that another, perhaps if the investigators could have a session with Mr. Bojang to identify the inventory document that he's referring to. So they'll put a few documents to him to ensure that we are on the same page as to the document he's referring to. Now, I have another application to make. I'll leave that to the tail end once I consult with my team. All right. Before I hand over to the members, Mr. Bojang, let's move on to another issue. Now, you mentioned that you did not purchase any vehicle. That was
Yes.
your evidence, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And members of your team also did not purchase any vehicle.
I said I cannot.
Or you're not sure?
I cannot show. Yeah, I'm not sure for the team, but for myself, I did not purchase any single item.
Now, if I were to tell you that members of your team definitely bought some vehicles, what would you
I
say?
I won't I won't I won't be surprised, because like I alluded to earlier, there was no specific policy on who's going to be qualified to buy it. As long as you meet the criteria of being the highest bidder. Yes, but for certainly, I could speak for myself that I did not purchase any single item.
Okay. All right. Let's start with yourself. If I were to tell you that you actually bought some vehicles, would you be surprised?
No, no,
You,
because that's not me, Katsu. That's
who
another
is not you?
gentleman.
Who is not
That
you? I have not
Kebabuja.
alluded.
You said, I know I've seen my name on the race, but I'm not the
So it's
only
your
one who's
name.
Kebabuja. Okay,
So it is your
that
name.
man. Well, that's Kebabuja, so it's the same indication with my name.
I see.
So I just want to give you context on that.
Please go ahead.
Yes, that's a gentleman. I could remember I met him, during the activities. Uh, he's from Jambur. I think he's a businessman, or I don't know. Yeah, but he's a different kebab. That's not me. For certain, that kebab bunyan that we have here is not me. I can categorically make that clear.
By any chance, direct this committee to Mr. Keba Bojang, who is not you, who is from Jambur, so that we can confirm that.
I think in the purchasers list, or they or in the receipt, the buyers, their contact numbers would be indicative there, if I could remember. So that could be used as a guide.
Okay. You also know one Mr. Mfamara Seriba, don't you?
Yes, I know Seriba, head of vehicle control.
Are you aware that Mr. Seriba bought some vehicles?
Uh, yes, I have seen it in the report. I have seen it in the purchasers list.
But at the time, were you aware that he was buying vehicles?
Seriba. I'm not sure, but it might be possible.
It might be possible. Might it be
Yes.
possible that he also bought, you recall him buying several vehicles? At least 3. I've seen his name a couple of times. May that be possible?
Well, if it is indicative in the record, yeah, I cannot go against the evidence. It might be possible.
All right. Look at the 21st of January, 2019.
Yes, I'm on that page.
So look at the receipt number that ends with 678, and it's head of Bedford.
Yes, I've seen it.
All right. What vehicle is it?
I think it's Ford because it stated head of Bedford,
Yes.
23.
Yes. So it's a Ford.
I believe so. Yeah, since it 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 indicated Ford. So
And who purchased it?
the buyer's name here is Farmer Sidiba.
All right. Is you're reading from the list, but do you recall whether it was Mr. Sediba that actually bought this property?
Uh, I am not sure, but that's the name that we have on record here.
Okay, what's the valuation price for that vehicle?
5,000.
5,000. And how much was
Yes.
it sold for?
3,000.
Don't you think that's a problem? Was that one of the vehicles that you saw that was being undervalued? Sorry, rather, there were no buyers, and you decided
Yeah.
to call
Yes. I'm.
Mr. Ramatulai Sar. You did not get Mr. Ramatulai Sar, so you decided to call one of the commissioners, and you reached out to Ms. Abiosi George, who gave you the go-ahead. Is this one of the instances?
Well, it's possible.
I would give you 2 minutes to recall. Look at the item, read it properly. Because I'm pretty sure, were there many items that you had to sell under the reserve price?
Absolutely not. Because the reserve price was the basis. They use that as the yardstick.
All right, if I were to surprise you that this vehicle was actually valued at $500,000.
Which vehicle?
Would
The
you be
head of
surprised?
Bedford?
Yes.
So I'm flabbergasted. You say half a million?
Mr. Bojan, I was also flabbergasted when I saw it. And that's why you're here to explain to us. So could you explain that to be a typo? Because it's also 5,000 that you
Yes.
indicated as the reserve price.
In this instance, logically, yes, I believe it is a typo because I don't think head of a Bedford
Now
will
you
be.
see, my problem now would come at two things. Yes, we can dismiss it as a typo, but to miss 2 zeros, I would want to label that as recklessness, because the difference between 5,000 and 500,000 is humongous.
I agree. Yeah.
495,000. 495,000. That is the difference. To add insult to injury, the 5,000 was not even paid. You had to take out 2,000 for the person to pay 3,000, correct?
Okay.
And to add
Okay. May
more
I
insult
interject,
to
please?
injury. Sorry? Say that again.
I said, may I interject, please?
Go
I
on.
said, may I interject, please?
Please go on.
Yes, it has brought to my attention that the typo might be on the error might be on the valuations report, the valuation report that you're reading from.
I'm curious. You just said that it was brought to your attention. Is there somebody else in the session?
Well, yeah, I have to prepare myself, Council.
We're not faulting you for that. In fact, we'll be happy if you prepare yourself. Who are you using to prepare yourself?
Well, I just have some stuff that I'm just guiding myself through with.
Okay. All right. I will not probe on that issue. I cannot promise for my naps. I'm sure they would.
Thank you, Council.
All right. You see, the controversy here is that it says 5,000, 3,000 was paid, and the person who bought it is an insider. You see, even on face value, something is not right. You can agree with me.
Yes,
Now,
based on the evidence.
Perhaps I would take whoever is advising you suggestion that the valuer's report perhaps has a typo. Let's argue that for a second. But could it be that the typo was for 50,000? It will still be grossly undervalued. We are making the assumption here that the valuer added 2 zeros. That is a very difficult mistake for a valuer. A valuer who lives in numbers. He lives and breathes numbers.
Yes, I agree with you.
You cannot explain. Go on.
I said yes. I cannot make I cannot make a valid argument here because that's what is indicative in the report here. So my honest opinion is, if it was value for 50,000, I do not see the rationale why it was sold, or we have it as indicated in our report here as 5K. There must be, I don't know, another explanation for this, because going by the evidence, it just doesn't tally.
Okay, let's look at there's a buyer I'm interested in. The buyer's name is Jar Oil Company, as indicated in your report. Let's look at that buyer, wherever that buyer comes up. Look at the top of the page, where it comes up first. It should be the receipt number that ends with 667, MK14 as a reference.
Can you repeat this? Which buyer are you referring to?
Jar Oil Company, where he first appears on that same page.
Is it the man, the one with the label man K35?
So above that, above.
Oh, okay. Yes, I've seen it.
All right. So the first
I've
one
seen
is
it.
the Benz, right?
Yes, I've seen it. Yes, it's the
Seems like you
M.
bought 3 Benzes.
Yes, MK14. Yes, I've seen it.
All right, so let's look at those. Let's look at MK14. Read it out. The serial number, what type of vehicle it is, who bought it, how much. Read it out, please.
Uh, it's Benz MK14. Buyer is Jar Oil, and reserve price is 20,000, and purchasing price is 18,000.
All right, so this is another example where the reserve price was strictly observed. It is 20,000 on the valuer's report, and it is also 20,000 here. Just to dispel that notion that there is probably another document. But then my issue here is the price it was sold for. It was sold for 2,000 under the price indicated as the reserve price. Of course, to be fair to you, I'll give you the facts. The valuer has stated that the condition is very bad, and the condition is bad. It is not roadworthy. The engine and gearbox are damaged, and the front headlights are damaged. And the 20,000 valuation price was put to it. But another discrepancy here is that instead of a Hyundai, instead of a Benz, it's actually a Hyundai MK14. Do you see that?
Well, I only have one report here. Like I said, I'm not. I don't have
That's
the
fine.
valuation
All
right
right.
now,
Can you
so I
explain
cannot.
why? So I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt to say that. Sorry, I'm giving you the facts rather to say that it was valid for 20,000 in the report. However, it was identified as a Hyundai, not a Benz.
Okay, okay, that might be an error. Okay, okay.
That's fine. Um, we seem to be excusing a lot of the items to be errors. I'll make a proposition after, but what was the reason it was sold 2,000 under the reserve price?
Maybe
This
the
one of
logic.
the was this one of the instances that you had to call Miss Sar for guidance?
Yeah, it's possible, Council. I'm not going to rule that out. Because that was our modus operandi. You know, whenever we come across such instances, we just reach out to, back to the office.
And was this one of those instances?
Like I said, I will not rule it out.
Can you recall? Now I'm giving you free rein. Recall for me one instance when you called Miss Sar, you could not get her, and you got Miss Abiosi George, the commissioner, or rather Commissioner Abiosi George, who instructed you to proceed. Can you recall?
One exact moment, I cannot recall.
You cannot recall which buyer prompted you to call the
Yes,
commissioner?
I cannot recall.
Okay, fair enough. Let's proceed. There's a discrepancy here. Let's proceed to the next item bought by Mr. Jah, which says also a Benz car, and the item is MK57. It was sold for 30,000, reserve price was 30,000. I can tell you that it is indeed a Benz. It's a Benz 500 SEL. I know maybe the picture of the car might not come to mind, but I can guarantee you, those who are older than us, this car was like the Rolls Royce of their time. The reserve price for the valuation report is indeed 30,000, and that is what was captured here. But it seems like Jar Oil Company, they are a very lucky company because they seem to be getting assets either at the reserve price or under the reserve price. Now, that is not consistent everywhere. There are instances where they've bought for way beyond the reserve price, to be fair to you. But I want to scrutinize these three that come in succession. And these three, you can see that the reserve prices are 30,000 and 20,000, and they are either bought for that exact amount or below. Now, since your modus operandi was the auctioneer would announce a price that is beyond, or rather above the reserve price, can you explain why these, in this case, it's static? I'm still waiting for your response, actually.
Okay. Well, my opinion on this one might be there was maybe no potential bidder, maybe. I'm not sure, but like I'm not ruling that scenario out. And he was the only interested party, maybe in this instance. And there was nobody who was willing to meet the actual reserve price, maybe.
Three times, yes? All three times. Okay, that's fine. It seems like
I
you
think
don't
that the two were purchased as the same. They were purchased with the same reserve price. That's what is indicative here.
Yes, they were purchased at the reserve price. And then one was purchased under the reserve price. But I'm
Yes,
I'm trying to reconcile that
explanation that was the explanation that I was giving to you. Like, and also the determining factor might also be uh, the item itself. You know, the condition of the item itself during the purchasing or the auction time. So.
All right. Just one more question. During the sales, actually, not one more question. Let me not mislead you. I have a few more questions.
Just make it one more question. It's okay.
The Jar Oil Company. The Jar Oil Company, did they ever purchase an armored vehicle? Do you recall that?
Yes, I could recall that. Yeah, I think it's a bus.
It was a bus.
I think so. If my memory could serve me well.
Do you remember seeing any G-Wagons for sale?
G-Wagon.
You're a young man, so I know you know what a G-Wagon is.
G-Wagon, I cannot remember. Because, you know, G-Wagon, it's a very enticing car. So if I have seen it, I would have recalled. But the armored vehicle that you're talking about, the bus, yeah, I could definitely recall that.
So you do not remember seeing a G-Wagon?
I cannot remember.
But you do remember several Benzes, right? Mercedes Benzes.
For the Benzes, I cannot capture it in my mind's image right now, just based on the evidence at my disposal here, yes, but to be able to visualize it in my head, I just cannot tell you, like, what kind of benches they were, like whether they were luxurious or this. I cannot.
All right, that's fine. That's fine. So, Mr. Bojan, we've gone through this report and I've picked bits and pieces of the report to show you inconsistencies where the valuation report was practically disregarded, and that the consequence of that is that what the sales accumulated to would have been below what the valuer had estimated for several vehicles. The other trend I see, you would call it an error, is duplications of a few items. Another trend I see is that individuals who partook in the sales bought properties, and they bought it at favorable prices. You see, if you accumulate all these elements, I'm sure the honorable member, the nominated member, Keva Langfofana, who you will proceed to, your Toma, would tell you that as an accountant, these elements are leading to one thing, and that is a doctoring of the report. This report doctored at any point?
I would say no, because
was the report gathered on the ground? Were you recording on the ground?
Yes, because
Or was this recording
like I mentioned, the procedure was whenever the bidder wins to buy or to purchase an item, you go and make your payment through the cashiers, and then the cashiers, they will issue out a receipt, and then with that receipt you will come to us, the supervisors, and we prepare a bill of sale and we record it. So
all right, so you never dealt with the receipts?
No, not at all. Not at all.
All right.
Not at all. Not at all. The reason why I was there, or me and myself and Fadrame as the supervisors, was our role was to be present on the ground and then make sure everything is done accordingly, and then we release a bill of sale, and the monies will be paid to the accountants.
At any point, did you require these buyers to identify themselves?
I cannot remember. I don't think so. We did. I cannot remember.
All right. Ms. Saar had mentioned to the committee that once you had embarked from all these activities, you came back to the commission, and that's where the report was basically done and finalized, naturally. But from the way she explained it, the report was done at the commission. Could you have forgotten or omitted a few items, thereby warranting you to fill a default amount or a guess amount? Could that be a possibility?
Well, I don't think so. But the report writing was not done hence we finish a particular sale on that particular day. We just jot in and get our numbers and whatsoever, and then once we leave the premises, we just continue with the report writing. It was not done comprehensively at the spot. So I will not rule that out.
Okay. Do you know one Mr. Ansumana Kebe?
Yes, I think
Is he part of your team? Was he part of the team selling vehicles at the time?
Yeah, yes, he was. He was. I think
Are
he's
you
a
aware that
personnel.
Mr. Kebe, are you aware that Mr. Kebe bought several vehicles at very favorable prices? Every time Mr. Kebe bought a vehicle, he bought it under the reserve price.
Reserve price.
All right, let me direct you to Mr. Kebe. So, can you go to the 23rd of January?
Okay.
Look for the 23rd of January. You see it?
Just a second. Yes, I've seen it. It's been highlighted, right?
Yes. Can you read it out for the record?
Name of vehicle is Hyundai Terrancan MK77. And
Yes.
the reserve price was 10K. And purchasing price, so the reserve price was 20K. That is
So
20,000.
the reserve price was 20,000 and he bought it for 10,000, half of the reserve price. And in fact, that reserve price is erroneous because that reserve price is half of the reserve price put by the valuer. The valuer put a reserve price of 40,000. Your report slashed that in half, put 20,000 at the reserve price, and then the sale. $10,000. So in fact, from the valuer's report, Mr. Kebe, Ansumane Kebe, who was part of your team, who was part of the commission, bought a Hyundai, which the valuer has described as fairly good, although he says it's not roadworthy because the keys were not available. He bought it for 10,000, a quarter of the price. You can see that, right?
Yes, as per the evidence,
Okay.
yes.
Let me take you to the next page as well. You turn the page. If you turn the page to the next page, you would see in the middle the receipt number that ends with 626. It's a Land Rover MK30, also bought by Mr. Kebe.
Excuse me, I'm looking for the page. What's the date again?
It's just the next page from where we were. It's the same date. So the first item on that page is Bedford K22.
Okay. With Ibrahim Ajalo, yes, I've seen that one. Yes, I've seen Ansumani Kebe's name, yeah. For the Land Rover MK30.
Yes. Can you explain? Just explain for the record how much he bought it for and what the reserve price was.
Well, according to this evidence, the reserve price was 15,000 and purchasing price was 10,000.
You can see again another instance where Mr. Kebe bought a property under the valuation price. Now let me ask you, because it will be very memorable. A member of your team wants a property and you called. I think you can remember that, to say that Mr. Kebe is part of us, but he wants such and such a property, is valued at such and such a price, and he can only pay such and such a price. Do you remember that phone call?
No, we've never done that.
You've never done that.
No.
So you never called for Mr. Kebe specifically. You called
No.
general.
No.
Do you remember his
it's,
item?
it's not like all the time that we do call, but yeah, that was the modus operandi, but it was not like all the time. That was how we were doing it.
All right. I think we can stop here. I'll allow the committee to take it up with you. But just to say that Mr. Kebe appears many more times. Most of the times he pays exactly the reserve price. He's one individual who either pays exactly the reserve price or he pays under the reserve price. Now the ones I've shown you is where he pays below the reserve price. But if you look at the 7th of February, you would see that he has bought 2 items exactly at the reserve price. Well, one of them is slightly above, my apologies. 2 items exactly at the reserve price. If you look at so 3 items actually above the reserve price. In fact, Mr. Kebe was one of those people I thought was very unfortunate because people are buying scrap vehicles for $200, $1,000. He has bought a donkey cart for $3,000. I felt sorry for him. But apart from that, he has bought that donkey cart at the reserve price.
I can't
Now,
remember.
that could indicate
Excuse me.
some favoritism for Mr. Kebe. But I will leave it there since you have no response to that. And I'll hand over to you, Honorable Chair. Oh, Honorable Chair, if I missed one question, if I could just ask.
Okay.
I had wanted to ask you, your Toma, and you have, it seems like today we're discussing 2 different Tomas. You have a Toma at the high table, and you had a Toma that bought a property. Now, your Toma, Mr. Keba Bojang, could it be one Mr. Keba Madi Bojang, since you interacted with him? Did he mention that his names were Keba Madi Bojang by any chance?
No, I
You did
cannot
mention that
remember.
he was from Jambu, right?
Yes, I know that he did mention he's from Jambur, but I cannot remember him mentioning a middle name.
You don't recall that?
Yeah, I don't recall him mentioning a middle name, but he did tell me that he's from Jambur, because since we have the same name and surname, so we kind of have a little bit interaction. And he's like, "Oh, you also Keba?" I'm like, "Yeah." So that was on the context that he told me he's from Jambur. He's originally from Jambur.
Chair, I can promise now I am done, and I can hand over the baton.
Thank you very much, lead counsel. Mr. Witness, now that
Chairman.
the council is done with you, members of the committee will take clarity. I will start with Honorable Janneh. Janneh. Yeah, hello, good afternoon, Mr. Bojang.
Yes. Good afternoon, Honorable.
How are you, sir?
Alhamdulillah. Managing.
Yeah. Is it true that
I'm not hearing you. I can hear you.
Hold on.
Mr. Mr. Bojan, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
So we will take a short break, 5 to 10 minutes, just to set up. And then the high table will now ask you questions, beginning with Honorable Janneh. Just bear with us.
Thank you.
Perhaps 5 to 10 minutes.
In fact, it's timely for me to use the restroom. Thank you. I'll be back.